of the week where we pause and we reflect on the beauty that is feedback. For those of you who I'm meeting for the very first time, my name is Dr. Shanita Williams. I consider myself a feedback enthusiast because I believe if you have the key to unlocking and unleashing your full potential, then you really have the key to taking control of your life. So tonight I'm going to make it really quick for Feedback Friday. We traditionally talk about feedback in the sense of the words that we speak. But did you know that our words are actually the least impactful portion of our communication? Let me say that again. Our words are actually the least effective when it's time to communicate. Here's why. There's a study that was done by, I believe it was Albert Mehrabian, who really studied communication. And what he said was, our words are actually only 7%. When it comes to people listening to us, we only hear 7% of what people say. But we're actually taking in 38% of your tone and making sense of really what's not being said based on your tone. In addition, we're taking in 55% of the messaging through your body language and how you actually show up. So this is really interesting because when it comes to feedback, everyone is focused on the words that are said. But if you are delivering feedback to someone, you also want to get clear about what it is you want to say, but you want to be really clear about how you're showing up in the moment. All right. So let's just think about this, right? I could say, good job. Or I could say, good job, right? Like how we show up changes that message. And so what I want you to think about, if you find yourself in a situation where you're going to deliver feedback, take the time, figure out the content, right? The words you want to say. But if you really want to make sure they hear you, and I mean really hear you, you want to pause and think about a few things. So let's do a quick example. So have you ever been in a situation where you've been talking to someone and you were trying to explain your point of view and they were saying, and you're trying to defend yourself and say, that's not what I said, right? And you're going back and forth about what you said and what you did not say. And it's really interesting because I know even with my husband, I'll say, no, these are the words that I said, but he's actually not necessarily listening to what I'm saying. He's watching my whole delivery, which is clouding the messaging because yes, body language influences it. So we want you to pause first and think about your emotional state. So here's the thing. When you are delivering feedback, our brain is made up of an emotional brain and a logical brain. Our logical brain can come up with the words to say, but our emotional brain is driven by our feelings, right? And so our feelings are actually going to show up in our behavior. And so that's why you want to be really, really thoughtful before you go and maybe give an apology. I've heard people who have delivered apologies. They said the right things, but it didn't sound like an apology simply because the tone and the body language gave us a larger message than what they were actually saying. So you want to pause and think about, how am I feeling before I give this feedback? When you tune into your feelings, you want to think about a few things. Am I in the right emotional state to be able to deliver this feedback? You have to, only you know yourself. So you want to check in and do that EQ check and say, how am I feeling first? And two, is this the right emotion I need to effectively convey the feedback that I want to provide to someone? I mean, if you're trying to truly convey that someone hurt you or they disrespected you or there's an opportunity to really repair maybe some harm that was done, you want to make sure that your body language aligns with your words. So taking a pause and thinking about, what am I feeling? And two, am I in the right emotional state? If you find that you are not in the right emotional state, that is your opportunity to pause and just say, now's not the right time. And I know sometimes our emotions go into overdrive and we feel like we have to get out this message right away. But I will tell you, plenty of relationships and professional and personal have been damaged simply because there was things we wanted to say, but our emotions have not caught up to the logical side of our brain. So I hope that as you go into your feedback conversations throughout your next week, you'll be thinking before you speak, all right, I have the right words, but do I have the right emotions? And hopefully that'll help you convey your message in the most effective way. So thank you so much for your time. I hope this was helpful for you. If you are interested in learning more about feedback mentality, you can check out my book to learn more. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you at the next Feedback Friday.